Hello, and welcome to a virtual hiking tour of the Lexington Cemetery. My name is Kate Irwin, Children's Program Coordinator at the Jessamine County Public Library, and we invite you to join us as we walk around Kentucky. The Lexington Cemetery, located in Lexington, Kentucky, is the second largest cemetery in the Commonwealth. It is a private, non-profit cemetery comprised of 170 acres. A cemetery may seem like an odd place for a hike, but this location is known for its beautiful views and many historical burial sites, and is sure to be of interest to nature lovers and history buffs alike. To get to the cemetery from downtown Lexington, drive westbound on Main Street past the Lexington Center, Rupp Arena, and Triangle Park. Mary Todd Lincoln Home and the Salvation Army are on the left. Main Street becomes Leestown Road past the downtown area. Past Georgetown Street, traveling in the right lane, and you will arrive at the main gate to the Lexington Cemetery. The cemetery is open daily from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m., and restrooms are located at the main entrance. However, they are currently closed to the public due to the COVID pandemic. The cemetery is an easy hike with paved roads and gently rolling slopes, but make sure to leave yourself plenty of time to explore, as there are many beautiful sights to enjoy and interesting landmarks to find. Make sure to take a water bottle with you on your visit, and sunscreen and comfortable walking shoes are suggested. Among numerous politicians, authors, businessmen, and sports figures that are buried in the Lexington Cemetery lie some of history's most notable figures. Located in the center of the cemetery is a magnificent monument to Kentucky's famous senator and three-time presidential candidate, Henry Clay. Clay served as a United States Senator and representative from Kentucky during the period of the War of 1812 up to the decade preceding the Civil War. Henry Clay was best known for his attempts to secure a compromise between the states on the issue of slavery. The monument was erected in 1857 after Clay's death in June of 1852. The remains of Clay and his wife Lucretia rest in two marble sarcophagi on the floor of a vaulted chamber at the base of the monument. John Hunt Morgan, well-known Confederate general of the Civil War, is also buried here. Morgan is best remembered for Morgan's Raid, where he led his men on horseback over 1,000 miles from Tennessee through Kentucky into Indiana and over into southern Ohio. This was the farthest point any uniformed Confederate troops ever reached during the war. Although not rich with wealth, William King Solomon showed his mettle during the cholera outbreak of 1833. Over 500 Lexington residents died in 8 weeks during the epidemic. While the majority of the city fled, Solomon, an indentured servant, stayed of his own accord. He dug graves for the victims over 2 months, working during the day and sleeping in the cemetery at night. Upon his death in 1854, Solomon was buried in the new Lexington Cemetery, and a statue declaring him a hero was erected at the gravesite. Union Major General Gordon Granger's final resting place is located in Lexington Cemetery. Granger is credited with telling slaves in Texas that they had been freed over 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was issued. On June 19, 1865, Granger traveled with around 2,000 Union soldiers to Texas, sharing the news the slaves there were free. This notable event is celebrated today as Juneteenth. The cemetery also incorporates one of 8 national cemeteries in Kentucky and contains the remains of both Union and Confederate soldiers, as well as veterans from the Spanish-American War. Other notable Kentuckians who are buried in the cemetery include John C. Breckinridge, Vice President of the United States under James Buchanan and General in the Confederate Army, and James Lane Allen, author of books such as Flute and Violin and the Bluegrass region of Kentucky. The Lexington Cemetery may be the final resting place of famous Lexingtonians, but many visitors come to see its living attractions: the trees, shrubs, plants, and flower beds that have gained it a national reputation as one of America's most beautiful cemeteries and arboretums. The cemetery includes more than 200 species of trees, from flowering dogwoods and magnolias to a historic American basswood tree that dates to at least 1776. Guided tree walks highlighting the different species are offered each spring and fall. Lovely flower gardens and 3 lakes add to the park-like setting. Gingko trees are said to have been introduced to Kentucky by Henry Clay. Known to have been in existence since the age of reptiles, the ginkgo species is one of the oldest living species and considered sacred among Buddhist priests. One of the great trees of the Deep South, the southern magnolia, can grow up to 80 feet tall in the right conditions. The large, leathery leaves are bright green and help to make this tree easily identifiable. The tree is an evergreen because it only sheds half of its leaves each spring. In the summer, large, creamy flowers, like water lilies, grow at the ends of the branches. A Mecca for birds, the Audubon Society has identified 179 different bird species on the grounds. One of the easiest to spot is the state bird of Kentucky, the northern cardinal. Since these birds are non-migratory, they can be spotted all year long. Butterflies love the abundant flowers that can be found on the cemetery grounds, and one species of butterfly that to be on the lookout for is the clouded sulfur butterfly. It has seasonal color variations that range from white to yellow. The dark spots vary as well, being more pronounced during the cool months in spring and fall. They can be seen flying close to the ground and frequently visit flowers and mud puddles. Where there is one, there are usually many. Even though the cemetery is located near downtown Lexington, a wide variety of animals can be found there. Bandit masked raccoons are a familiar sight just about everywhere because they will eat just about anything. These ubiquitous mammals are found in forests, marshes, prairies, and even in cities. They are adaptable and use their dexterous front paws and long fingers to find and feast on a wide variety of fare. There are many things to learn and observe at the Lexington Cemetery. Remember to keep an eye out for the southern magnolia, the ginkgo tree, the northern cardinal, the clouded sulfur butterfly, and the raccoon. I hope you've enjoyed our virtual tour today. I encourage you to visit the Lexington Cemetery and enjoy the beautiful scenery for yourself. Visit the Jessamine County Public Library's website for more information on virtual programming.